That's a nice argument, Senator.
Would you rather storm the Scientology building or victimize small animals which are motley crew of 4 brawling ancient warriors? Valkyrie Profile 2 is what happens when you try to fuse Final Fantasy and a little chemical X known as obtuse game design, and it is glorious. In this game, you collect the deceased.
I think there's someone hanging right there.
Einherjar. Each have a different role and background, and some are just called Dylan.
Rick and Morty.
This is a significant step down from the previous game where you relive the events that led to somebody's demise, which is a shame because there is apparently 1,000 years worth of history detailing the various wars and subsequent collapse of kingdoms that each Einherjar participated in. As a highly esteemed man who was touched, molested even by the tism, I still think about this game long after I beat it a year ago. It remains as one of my favorite combat systems in the JRPGs I've played. I find it quite depressing that not a lot of people talk about this game, considering it is only a sequel to a highly beloved cult classic PS1 game, but it is also not very good in comparison. Speaking of not so fun fact, Valkyrie Profile 2 is an exclusive of the PCSX2 nightly build. It is a great displeasure to know that all the Valkyrie Profile games are not available on modern platforms. Because the evil Square Enix publishing team are more concerned with re-releasing Final Fantasy VII 6 times. I counted, it's definitely 6.
Pretty sure it's actually Satan!
The only other option is to literally bleed yourself dry trying to acquire an original copy. One look at the used games market and even the tamest of sheep will have the irresistible urge to beat these scalpers to death. Then, when all hope is lost, a singular light bulb lit up inside of my head. What happens next will shock you.
Pop this piece of crap in, expecting Ghostbusters, and what do you get?
Much to my dismay, I promptly woke up realizing that all of that was a premonition dream, foretelling me to avoid the sequence of events leading up to it so I can stay within the legal confines of ethical media consumption. In fact, this inaccessibility to play the Valkyrie Profile games extends to not only this franchise, but a huge majority of games developed by Tri-Ace. I bring this up because Tri-Ace has developed one of the most experimental of JRPG systems that largely went unnoticed by the mainstream gaming zeitgeist and has a long string of mediocre financial performance due to faults largely not their own, such as Sega releasing Resonance of Fate in the same weekend as Final Fantasy XIII, like it's a rap battle between a coughing baby and a hydrogen bomb, or Square Enix refusing to greenlight a third Valkyrie Profile game to cap off the trilogy, supposedly dedicating one game for each of the 3 Valkyrie sisters. Unfortunately, Valkyrie Profile 3 ultimately became Lightning Returns, and I don't want her to.
This is ridiculous. Get out of my house!
The more I read about this company's trials and tribulations, the more it intrigued me. Not because the story in their games are underrated masterpieces, trademark. No. They're pretty mid if I'm going to be honest. They stood completely opposite of Monolith Soft's Xenosaga in the Pundit Square, where Xenosaga has a good story but horrible gameplay. Tri-Ace games have stories but hot slappers in the gameplay department. There is plenty to love about their games from this era. One may ask, what are they doing now?